Most
Well,
of I got Republican friends I got friends that are Republican, and the first thing they tell me is, well, I vote Republican because of the abortion. Well, how and I ain't gonna cuss because I've been telling us the Lord not to let me cuss. I said, how can you vote for the womb of a woman, but when the child come out, you don't vote, and you don't vote for the things to keep that child going. You don't vote for things until the time child get in his tomb. You don't vote for anything to feed him, to clothe him, but you're concerned about the womb. The child comes out of the womb, and it has to be nurtured, and it has to be groomed, and it has to be taught, and it has to be fed, and it has to be spoke life into. But as long as you don't worry about, I don't want no young girl. If the young girls, I always tell people, and I'm a Christian, I've never had an abortion. I have plenty of nieces and nephews, and I never had children because I couldn't. Who are we to cast stones? Who are we? Because God tells us those without sin, cast the first stone. So how am I going to tell that young woman coming out of that abortion center, you going to hell because you done went there and killed that baby in your womb when we full of hell ourselves? And my thing is this, instead of crucifying that child, that young woman, pull her to the side and say, I love you. And God's going to make a way for you and this child. It may not change her mind, but at least you gave her a different perspective. You pull her to the side and say, baby, you don't have to do that. I know it haunts girls. I've seen girls that have abortion and it haunts them. But instead of us crucifying them, like we crucified Christ, we talk to them. See them how, because half of those girls that keep them babies, it's those programs like that. I don't know how I'm going to feed them baby. Well, take the food stamps away. They don't need no snack. But you crucifying them for not wanting no child or wanting to do something. And then what do they do with the children? They put them in the homes. Or either you got people that take children and be pedophile to them. What do you do with them? See, those are the things that God is going to
like
check.
Some people I know.
And I got to talk to my brother because he's a Christian. I have to checkmate. If you're going to checkmate somebody, we got to checkmate our souls. Whether we Democrat, Republican, non-Democrat, we got to checkmate who we are. Because trust me, I got a friend across the street. He loved Donald Trump. He loves him. Him and I are the best friend. He looks out for me. But I speak to, he said, well, I'm worried about, because it's a sin. It's a sin to have an abortion. Well, it's a sin to lust. It's a sin to lie.
It's a sin to have relations outside of marriage.
Of what you want.
Yep.
And if God says there's no one more sin, no greater than the other, no more, except stubbornness and arrogance. God despises those things. And a swift and lying tongue. He said, I despise
that all encapsulated in Trump. All of that is in him.
And I'm not saying some of the other presidents ain't lied neither, because I don't give nobody no pain. But I have to roll with the ones that need the help, the least of these. And I want to ask you, since you're a follower, what happened? Where are the homeless people that they cleaned up D.C. at? What did they do with them? Where are they?
I really can't talk about that. I think you need to
and I'm
call
talking
a
to you from a passion of my heart, because God gave me a love for people. He said, love people.
Yeah, I understand that, but I really cannot answer that question because you need to call the mayor representatives there and find out.
You represent what you're wearing on your head.
What do you recommend?
You're supposed to know. You came here and you said that they clean up DC and it's safe. DC. I was born in DC. Okay.
Yeah. I tell you what,
all of that. So
and they did a good job. They did a good job doing that.
But I don't mean no harm. I ain't trying to be play or no funny thing. Well, heck, if that's the case, why didn't he do that the first time he was in the office?
I think it was a good time that Donald Trump, well, let me say this, the Democrats cheated in 2020.
Man, now, Paul, I love you, baby, and you need to go follow Pastor Paul, not Pastor Paul. Follow him. I love you, sugar.
I think that when Donald Trump was out,
righteousness is right. Speak, and I ask the Lord to clip your tongue if you don't speak truth or righteousness in His name.
I think it was good that Donald Trump lost because he had an opportunity to think, plan, and execute. So that's the reason why it is fantastic to see him in the White House cleaning up Washington, D.C. Now the troops are in Chicago, going to clean up Chicago. After Chicago, head down to Memphis, Tennessee.
That's where they need to go to Memphis. They need to go to the southern states.
They need to go to southern states.
Yeah,
they
that's
will.
where the crime is.
They will. But
they're coming up to the north.
But see, that's the problem I got with the southern states. The southern states vote heavily for this man, but they got least the jobs and least money. Now, something ain't adding up it ain't adding up for me. Because why isn't the one, the old folks, you say you're supposed to look out for those that look out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know why are they such a poor state? These red states, why? What's the problem?
Yeah. The northern states take care of the southern states.
And that's strong Republicans. You got Republicans in their House and their Senate, and the judges there in them southern states, Republican. What's the problem? Where the money at? And so let's not say who's corrupt. And I know how you say all of the presidents, the Democratic president was corrupt, but Donald Trump ain't corrupt. Well, heck, baby. Tell me about felons. Your man got 34, 32 felons, whatever he got. Right?
It does not matter.
He's a convict.
Corrupt is corrupt, whether it's in, out, all around. Corrupt is corrupt. But what
we're not going to double up on you.
We have to pray for them. We pray for. I don't just when I get up in the morning, I don't just pray for myself. I say, Lord God, Donald Trump, and make him righteous of you. Don't let people whisper. Personally, I think people do whisper in his ears, the wrong ones.
Yeah.
So as Christians, we got to pray for all presidents. When George Bush was there, I've been here longer than time than you have. We prayed for them. I prayed for them. I mean, saints, real saints. I'm talking about the real Holy Ghost speaking saints. I ain't talking about the one that wear the title, hold the Bible up upside down, them kind of saints. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the real saints. The ones that can get you through when Paul is sick. Your mama named Paul, that's the Apostle Paul for a purpose. But I pray for them to love all of their people, to help all of the people, not just some of the people. And rich millionaires don't care about poor people. If you go back in your Old Testament, sugar, what was that about?
Well, that's what you say. That's your opinion. That's your opinion to say that rich people don't care about poor people.
Well, some of them, but majority don't. Them billionaires and trillionaires, I don't see how they care when they write.
They don't care about poor people, man. You know that.
And you know that.
I mean, common sense will tell you that.
Uncle, you've been in the system before. You know how they work.
Of course.
But Bridget,
God says that. Wait a minute, baby. He says that the love of money. It's not money that's evil. It's the love of money that hurts people. You can love it so much that you can't see the least of these. Where they can do better. And sometimes some people don't want to see it. Just because if you go back, that's what when Jesus walked, that's what he was talking about, them taking from the poor all the time, charging them this and charging them this and taxing them on this and everything that's happening in this world is nothing new under the sun.
I want to pivot, guys. I want to pivot in the interest of time.
Yeah.
I want to know.
But you still my baby, Paul.
And Bridget, I'm going to send you one of these hats right here.
No, you're not. Oh, you can send it to me so I can pray over and put some holes.
Yeah. Send it to me. Send me one. Send me one. I can put it out in my yard by the garbage can. But tell me, Paul, why I get this feeling that you don't like women. Why is that? Do you like women or not?
I tell you what. I love women, but I don't like those sassy, disrespectful women.
Well, then you might not like
Give me an example.
I ain't disrespectful, but I'm going to speak my piece.
Because a lot of these women have a mouth on them. They very disrespectful.
That's all they got is a mouth. They don't have anything else.
But you should never bring that to your mouth to a fist fight with a man. You have to respect a man.
You can't hit a woman, man.
Man, let me tell you something. If a woman continues to talk crazy, and I will slap her. I will pimp slap her. Just like Donald Trump pimp slapped Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. So
yeah, right.
I mean, physically.
Look, baby, he was scared of the real black woman. That's what he's scared of a woman.
Yeah, he ain't messing with a black American woman, man.
He's afraid of that woman, that real stuff, that real stuff. That's what he was scared of. Because
that's the reason why.
My nephew, I said, look, nephew, this is how it goes. I'm gonna tell you the truth, how it's supposed to go. That's what I would say to him. And Donald Trump, you do what's right. That's what the old black mothers would say. You go up there and do what's right. I raised you right, so do what's right by people. That's not a
Well,
sassy black woman. That's a black woman that has been through some things in the years.
Yeah,
I remember
but
my
Paul,
grandmother telling me about slaves and her mother being a slave. My grandmother. It ain't been that. It hasn't been that long, babes.
but I
well,
do want to know why, Paul, you don't like women, man. I don't understand that.
I don't know where you get
got a
that
daughter.
from.
Don't you have a daughter?
I have 2 daughters, I have 2 sons, and I have a granddaughter. You told me, Walter, I don't have nothing against women. Listen to me. I
Just
told
don't
you,
like
I'm
the
being
sass.
transparent. I'm being transparent, and I'm being honest. I love women. You line them up, I would knock them down sexually.
I'm
But
not talking
I
sexually. I'm talking about
I
spiritually
do
and
not
emotionally.
like I do not like their attitudes toward men. There's a lot of women that are very disrespectful toward men and talk crazy to men. So I teach my daughters to respect men. That's what I teach my daughter. I teach my daughters not to be sassy and try to put down on men in front of in front of his friends. You want to put them down.
But but
You
but
want to
but Paul, I don't mean to
yes.
interrupt you. Are you just is that from your own experience, or is that what you observed from a multitude of couples? I mean,
I
where you
have
pulling that from?
observed this. I have observed this, Walter. I have seen this, Walter, happen in real life. You cannot beat down a man. You just can't do that. You have to watch what you say. Remember, the Bible says, "What's in the tongue? Life and death. You choose."
Yes, power
So
is
if a
in the
woman
tongue.
talks back to you or curses you, you think you have a right to hit them, slap them?
I tell you what, I'm going to remove myself from that environment. But if
Please.
I'm walking to my car, if I'm trying to get away and she continue to come after me, I'm gonna have to put my hands on her. I'm gonna have to lay hands on her. I'm
Why
gonna
don't you
have
just
to
walk
bless
away
her.
and get somebody else? When you get to that point, it's
Yeah,
time to move on.
yeah,
Don't
yep.
you
That's
think?
what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah, you can
say.
never hit a woman.
You just
Okay.
walk. You just walk away. But
I think
sometimes you have to see
But
the root. But Paul, sometimes you have to see the root of that woman's mouth. All women is not like that, and of course I know you know that. But sometimes as a
hmm
man, you got to see the root of her, why she's mouth, and why she has
hmm
that sassiness about her. We never know what people endure and go through.
Well, I tell you what.
You got women that has been battered, has been raped, and only thing left is for them to find strength to defend themselves is their mouth.
Well, I don't have nothing to do with that. Your
I know
past
you
does
don't have
not.
nothing to do with them, but
I don't have nothing to do with
that's
that.
their defense mechanism to say, I got
okay,
to
okay.
protect myself. They may not have the level of process of thinking or the
hmm
carnal thinking or the non-carnal thinking that we might have. Everybody may not come from the circumstances the opportunities we have. So we have to meet people where they are.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
And say, and determine, when I used to work and I like sharing it. And I in the school system, I had a parent that would come out there to school and everybody would kind of run from her a little bit because she was sassy. And she'd say, well, you don't do that, I'm going to beat this. But when I saw, I said, come here, baby. Let Miss Stokes talk to you a bit. And I would tone her down because I understood where she was coming from. And when she would see me, she would walk in there and with her mouth, she wouldn't be run. She would come out, come in the office calm because I treated her like she was somebody. So we don't know what people have to endure in their lives when they come off and steam off like that. We don't know the day that they have. They shouldn't. And then society built that up. The new society put that in place. Old school
all
women, we
right.
were taught to be strong. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice because we knew as a woman we're going to be degraded and then be degraded. And plus, as a black woman, to be a 60 or 70-year-old woman and a white man say, you gal, get out of my way. What's that? What's she supposed to say? Yes, massa. Was she being sassy then? So she had to learn it. She had to learn how to defend herself and that gives her defense with her mouth. We might not like it.
I want to ask you, Paul. You apparently don't believe in child support.
Well, yeah, the reason why I do not believe in child support, Walter and Bridget, is because child support is a Ponzi scam, and I need y'all to pay attention to what I'm going to say. If
Okay.
you go and look up 45 CFR 303.5, the letter G, you will see that child support is voluntary. Child support is underneath the Social Security Act. It's called Title 4D. Title
Now, what was the
4D.
the law?
45, 45, 45, CFR 303.5, the letter G. When you go and read it, you will see that child support is voluntary. It states it right there. So, like I said, the real name of child support is Title 4D. It is underneath the Social Security Act. They call it the Social Security. They call it Title 4D program. Now, the government says, your Congress people says, anytime there's a program, it's not law. So what they did was they had told the states, if you want to raise money, this is how you can raise money. You say it's child support. You say it's the law. You say it's a federal program. You say it's a state program. And you call it a statute. If you have a Black Laws dictionary and you go and look up the word statute in a Black Laws dictionary, it will say that it is a rule and regulation that requires a person consent.
Right,
So
and it's a state. If you say a statute, do you talk about state?
State. It's a state statute. That means that you have the right to say, no, I do not want to participate. You
Then you're
have
going
the
to go to jail.
right.
You're going to prison.
No, because child support, remember what I told you, is voluntary. So the judges, listen to me, Walter. Listen to
I'm
me,
listening.
because I'm coming out with a book that's going to change everything.
All right, Paul.
You think the judges are judges. Those judges are attorneys acting as judges. They are contractors. I have all the evidence and I put it together in my book that will be coming out. I'm pregnant and child support is the father. So child support, this is what they did, Walter. 1975 is when child support came out. What community or what group of people do you think that they targeted?
Blacks.
Yes, they went after blacks.
They're always coming
And
after
then,
us, so you should know that.
yes.
Okay.
So then in the 80s, they said, man, the money is good. The money is good. So they went after Hispanic people, and then they went after everybody. Now, the child support program says that it's a voluntary program for men, and women
But
should not.
why do so many men go to jail for
Because
non-payment of child support?
because of a lack of knowledge. If they discovered, if you go and read what I told you to go read, 45
I'm gonna do
CFR
that. I'm curious now. Yeah,
303.5
yeah.
point G, you're going to say, how do they go to jail? Because they don't know that it's a contract. See, when I was born, Walter, all right, my birth certificate was signed by my mother and also by my father. Okay. So they did not disclose the contract that I was put into the child support program as a baby.
Now repeat
Every
that.
child.
You lost me somewhere there. Could you repeat that a little
Okay.
bit for the audience?
Anytime a mother goes into the hospital and have a son, that son is automatically put into the child support program, into their database. So when that man becomes an adult or 18 years old and he have a child, he's already in the database of child support. But remember, it's voluntary. The hospital take your information and they sell it to a private company, which is called Young Williams Inc. You can go look this up. And the other company is called Maximum. These are two for-profit organizations that are benefiting from our community, and they have these attorneys, and they pay these attorneys not to represent us, not to disclose the truth that child support is voluntary. That's the reason why, if you go look up my case from 2021 all the way up until 2023, it went all the way up into the United States Supreme Court, my
Your
brother.
case. You have a case
My
that went to the
case
Supreme Court.
went to the United
What is it? All right, Hunter
You look
versus
up
what?
Lamar Hunter versus Jeff Leggett, Leggett. Once you look up that case, you're going to see how the case went from district to appeals all the way up into the United States Supreme Court. And they got rid of the case once they got to the United States Supreme Court. Because
Did
you know
the Supreme
why they
Court
got
hear it, or they just, what do they do? What was the interpretation of the Supreme Court?
The interpretation was that the case was dismissed. I don't pay child support whatsoever. So they
What was
did
the
not
reasons?
want.
What was the rationale?
They did not give no reason. They did not give no reason. They did not give
no
any
precedent,
president nothing, because they wanted to get rid of everything, because they did not want people to have a blueprint on how to get your case to the United States Supreme Court. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be clear in what I say this. The judicial system at the state level and at the federal level is corrupt. Do you know that child support takes in $65 billion a year? And guess who gets some of those?
I'm not surprised, because it's supposed to go to the kids. I mean, you have a child, you should take care of the child, don't you think?
Well, very little goes to the kids anyway. So
very little goes to the kid. Do you know who benefits from?
That's the system. That's how the system is.
Very little. So
that's the same thing with Social Security. You pay all the money in Social Security all the year, but very little comes back to you. And we go back paying. I always say we pay taxes while we're working. We pay taxes on the Social Security, and then you get less, and then you pay taxes on Social Security every month. You pay payments on it every month. So
explain me.
That's the system.
Explain me. If I got a $100 child support that I pay every week, and they take the money out of my check, all right? Mm-hmm. Then I guess there's a processing fee, I guess, right? Let's say $10.
Yep.
There's a processing fee. They don't do nothing. They don't process it, but there has to be some money in there. All right, so $100 should be sent to the wife, right?
You would think $100 will be sent to the ex-wife or the girlfriend, but it's not. It's probably about $40 to $50 being sent out of that $100. That's the reason why, Walter. Yes, Walter. That's the reason why. Write this down: Blessing versus Freestone. Blessing versus Freestone. In 1997, five white Blessing BLESSINGS. Blessing versus Freestone. In 1997, Walter, five white women in Arizona took child support to the United States Supreme Court. Do you know child support had to come and tell on themselves? And they got up on the stand and said that child support was never created to benefit the child, the mother. So when you read that case, you're going to see. I'm gonna look at it in the case.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I wouldn't go. Yeah. Send me one. I mean, I'll give you an example. A guy across the street from me, he flies a Trump flag in his yard. He has a flag poles up there. He's flying the Trump flag. So I don't care. That's okay with me. He has every right to do so. But if I fly,
yes, he does.
That's why I told him in a couple of years I want him to contact me back, because I must tell him I voted for the 92. I'm the 92%.
That's right. Well, he's part of the 20% that voted.
92%, and I'm the 92.
Yeah, well, 20% of black men voted for Trump. 20%.
Yeah,
was a lot.
And we have no regrets whatsoever. He's our man.
And a lot of them was everything that he stood for today. A lot of them because they whatever they follow him for, or whatever, or some men just don't want women to be in charge. And I'm saying all this, that we always, so like I said, we still don't have to have compassion for both sides. because we just don't have pay. What do those young women do when, I know they take the money and we know they don't get half of the money. But what did they have to get? They have to have something. So what did they do?
You familiar with them not getting the full amount?
When they don't have, when the father ain't providing nothing for them, period. What do they do?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. What did they do? They're working as hard as you could. And I know, you got to have a good job and make some good money, but everybody don't get that opportunity. It would be nice if some people mind is not on that level of thinking that I can do better. I can go back to school. And even when you go back to school, you got to have somebody to take care of your children. You got to have somebody to cover the daycare costs and the food and the clothes.
Under Trump, all of that went up. All of that daycare and babysitting, all that kind of stuff.
I was just curious, what do we do to encourage young black brothers to take, not necessarily young black brothers, because just many white men don't take care of their children and the black brothers don't. So we're not gonna put that stigma on our brothers by themselves, because I can't do that. But I'm just saying, what do we do to encourage them to become good fathers? I know there are good programs out there, and there are men out there that's trying to bring these brothers in. But it do have to be some kind of system whereas these women have to have money for their children.
Yeah, and I tell men and women all the time, because there's a lot of single fathers out here as well, and I tell them to use the resources that are available in your community. Don't be ashamed to raise your hand and ask for help, because that's what smart people do. They raise their hand and they ask for help. And
can I raise my hand now?
Yeah, you can. I know what you're going to say. You want one of these signed
You're going to ask for help from who? It's not coming from the government, because Trump ain't giving you no help.
Exactly.
See, Walter, you want to take shots at Brother Trump. You have this derangement in your head about Donald Trump. It's not a derangement.
It's just a logical conclusion that I have.
Walter, Donald Trump will go down as one of the greatest presidents ever.
Why?
Well, baby, I don't think so. But, it's all right that you got that feeling. It's all right if you feel it and you think it, because we do bring our children up to think independently and have their own theology and their own thinking. But, it's good that we often need to pray to ask God to guide us with our carnal thinking sometimes, because our carnal thinking cannot always let us see things that we need to see. Or sometimes take the blind off. Look, baby, I always say there ain't no perfect nobody. None of the presidents have done 100% perfect. But you got to just say, I don't know if he'll go down as the greatest president, but he might go down, and my pastor don't get me, but a president full of the fire.
Yeah, like Zachary Taylor or some one of those guys.
Bridget, don't you see this? Don't you see this man up here, Bridget?
Yeah, I see him.
I see your man up there putting on them little girls. Yeah, I see him.
This man is the best
and you were right. President. He was a Democrat when he was in the world of entertainment. Most entertainers are Democrats. They free spirit. They are Democrats. Most entertainers are. It's just that he saw the opportunity and he flipped it. That's all.
Yeah, he was right there in front of him. He just grab him. That's all he had to do.
I'm telling you, I really do love this man. This man,
you can love him, but love Jesus more though, baby. Because God said, "Don't make nobody idol."
He's not my idol. But I just love the way he just beat up on Hillary, and then he turned to Kamala Harris, and he was like,
"So that made me
what about beating up on black people? What about beating up?"
See, that's why Walter asked you, did you have anything against women? Did you see, if you could just see yourself coming out like that, man, son, you got to get something against women. You got to get some help.
Man,
I think man, Paul, I don't want to say this. Your mama
was brought you in this world through labor. Don't you forget that.
No, there's nothing like beating up on a woman. And Donald Trump told the world, men are superior and we can beat up on women anytime.
And
don't ever go
one more question. I got one more question. I got one more.
I'm gonna say what I said.
Before you go,
if women were so superior, then why? I'm not saying that God didn't create man first, and he said, I'm gonna make that division between you all because you broke my statute, you broke my law. And like I always tell people, in that garden, Adam was there too. Adam had the space. He was so superior. Why didn't he tell Eve, baby, you can't do this. So let me bring it back. And they weren't the only one. Why in the world? You look at Deborah in the Bible. It was men that were scared to go out to the war, but she wasn't. But you say they're superior and you read the word? Come on, baby.
Okay, I got one question before we do a wrap here, but I got one question left.
You know I love you.
I got one question. Some of the politicians or legislators are, and then out in the fringe, the extreme right, they want one vote per household. Have you heard of that, Bo?
I heard it.
Yes, I did.
And the man should cast that vote.
I'm behind it 100. I'm behind it 100% because if you look at the 92% of black women that voted for Kamala Harris, we need to take their vote away from them because what they did was a tragedy. What they did was try to destroy this country.
Walking for freedom and righteousness. Oh no.
I'm behind that 100%, Walter.
It was the 92% out there when you weren't in your mama's womb yet that was out there fighting, baby. Trust me.
That's right. And a lot of people died
so that you could vote for Trump. Man. You know why you can vote for Trump? It's from the hard labor of the 92%.
They didn't die for one household vote. They died for everybody to vote.
They died for everybody to vote. You can vote for Trump. It's because of the battles and the torture and the murder that went on.
Our ancestors to be able to go vote for Trump.
You could have your voice. We can't make you vote for who you don't want to. You vote for who you want to, but you got that opportunity without having to go down there and take tests and count pennies and tell how many counties and all that stuff so that you can vote for your daddy.
Yeah, you know what I can say as an older guy. I'm older than you, Paul. So I think I do have some authority to say this. I think you really need to think about your positions, man. Just think about life in general. I know you already made up your mind on saying, but everybody changes. Okay, just think about it. Reflect, man. That's all I can tell you.
Well, Walter, I'm riding with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was born on June 14th.
And I just want to say, and I want to be able to find you a couple of years from now, okay? When everything be stripped away.
I don't want Donald Trump to send you to the Honduras.
For you, Paul, I want you to ask me. I had a question for you, and I had it in my mind. I want to ask you your opinion on it, and I just want your opinion on it. So, how do you feel about all the Black history being strapped away? Been just stripping away. Do you think?
That's a good one,
you know what I'm talking about? Do you think it should be talking to school about our history? Should we teach it to our children about where we came from? Because I know my grandmother used to say, "Don't forget where you come from, because if you don't, you'll go back over it again."
Well, I tell you what.
I'm just asking you: are you okay with all that being stripped? Is that right?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be abundantly clear. I think that I disagree with what's happening in Washington, D.C., taking that Black history and pulling away. But it's just an indication for us to say, hey, it's our responsibility to educate our children. That's what it is. So we need to get our children involved in reading Black history books so they'll know and put it into their subconscious mind. So that way they will know, can nobody take it away from them because it's embedded into their souls.
Okay, we can leave it right there.
That's awesome. Because I often think about how did, what you would think about if you had that chance to go back in the day and they wouldn't let you read. They didn't want us to read. And often I want to ask young people, why do you think they didn't want us to learn how to read?
That's a good question, Paul.
Well, because they wanted to hold us back because it's knowledge in those books. You understand that?
Knowledge.
So I'm glad that you brought that up because it's your responsibility, just as Walter, to go behind what I said about child support so you can gain that knowledge, so it can blow your mind. So you can say, oh wow, I never knew.
But I do research. I
never knew. Yeah.
If I don't do it, Bridget's going to do it.
So I just want to know how, because I often ask young people, my grandmother poured a lot into me as a young child from her grandmother. And like I said, her grandmother was a slave. So it's not that far along. So I just want to know,
my great-grandmother,
young people also, so why do you think they kept us from reading? Because reading is power, reading is knowledge.
It's dangerous. That's what they think. They think it's dangerous. They figure these ignorant people, if they learn things, then they become immediate danger to us.
So that's how, right. And that's how we are where we are today, the struggle, the fight. So we could have that equal right.
And
So
we got
that
more
you can
fighting to
vote,
do, Paul.
I could
We got more
vote, we can
fighting to
voice
do.
our opinion like this and still be friends, still be family.
Folks, I want you to thank you. Thanks to Briggette, thanks to Paul for being on the show today. This is a great show, and I want to say, y'all guys, the Walk Weekly podcast is everywhere. We on Spotify, we on Apple Podcasts, we on Pandora, we on iHeartRadio, we on Alexa. Play the Walk Weekly podcast. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then don't forget our YouTube channel, the Walk Weekly podcast. We got some good stuff up there. So, guys, please join us, and we're gonna have a lot more exciting stuff to do. And thank you for supporting us for the last 6 years. We've been on there 6 years.
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we stay, man. We ain't going nowhere. All right, I'll let Paul take over the show when I move on. But anyway, just joking, Paul. But anyway, thanks everybody, and y'all guys have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.